Hi, welcome back to our channel Oracle Bird. If you are new to our channel, I'm so glad you're here. We create videos on merchandising foundation cloud services. In this video, we are going to explore the topic of purchase order, and I'm super excited to share my thoughts and insights with you. Are you ready to get started? Let's begin. In these topics, we will cover introduction, purchase order types, life cycle, PO creation, mandatory attributes, status workflow, PO dates, OTB, data model and batch flow, and some of the interview questionnaires. Introduction. Purchase order represent the process of buying merchandise to a supplier. Purchase order function control procurement of stock of retail. Purchase order in merchandising provides support for capture and view of several ordering related attributes such as shipping information, important attributes, HTS, expenses, letter of credit information, and partner information. Inventory management parameters such as scaling, truck splitting, supplier minimum, and rounding percentage may also be defined and enforced at the order level. Purchase orders can be created through an automated or manual process. Automated orders are largely generated by the replenishment processes, whereas manual orders may be raised for ad hoc purchase orders against contracts and from replenishment generated buyer work. The ordering screen can also provide usability enhancers such as diff distribution and pack templates to ease the process of order creation. Purchase order receipts record the increment to on hand when goods are received from supplier. WAC is recalculated at the time of receipt using the PO landed cost. Transaction audit records are created by financial audit and the receiver is made available for invoice matching. Open to buy limits are discussed as a precursor of order creation. Purchase order types. So majorly there are three types of purchase order types. One is manual, automatic, and semi-automatic. Manual. Manual purchase orders are created manually by users. Automatic. It can be created and approved automatically based on replenishment parameters defined at item location level. Semi-automatic. Automatically created and manually approved by the buyer based on the replenishment result. Automatically generated purchase orders. Purchase orders may be automatically generated through several ways. Few are below: replenishment, investment buying, vendor in managed inventory or VMI, truck splitting, and warehouse stock or cross stock, docked stock. In replenishment, when inventory levels reach a point determined by the replenishment method assigned to an item, a purchase order can be created in worksheet or approved status. IB, when the investment by calculation indicates a benefit of the company by purchasing additionally inventory. A purchase order can be created in worksheet or approved status. In vendor management inventory, if your supplier uses a VMI system, the supplier can create purchase order in worksheet or approved status. Truck splitting. When a purchase order is split into two purchase order to accommodate truck splitting, a purchase order can be created in worksheet status. Warehouse stock or cross stock. Accumulate store need at the item location level. If the need cannot be fulfilled by the warehouse, a worksheet PO is created. Manually creating a purchase order. In addition to auto generation, purchase orders can also be created manually in merchandising. After creating the purchase order and specifying the header details, you would need to add one or more items to the purchase order and distribute those items to one or more location. You can create the following purchase order in merchandising: order import order, contract order, order for contracted items, DSD order, de-issued order, purchase order for a pack, and customer order. Let's go through a high level steps for PO creation. So step one will be supplier, selecting vendor for which PO to be raised. Step two will be supplier site, ship from detail from vendor. Next, we have to choose a department for which PO to be raised. Step 4 will be items including item number, quantity, diff, and location. Next, we have to calculate the dates like not before date, not after date, end of week date, and all other dates. Next is summary, review order items. Then we have to add comments, add note for a vendor. This is not a mandatory field. And next is options, including supplier details, buyer, shipping, order dates, attributes, and other required documents. Next, we have to submit, change status to submitted. And next is OK, save and exit, and then approve by supervisor level based on the order value. Next topic is purchase order creation. In MFCS, we can create the purchase order from the RMS UI as well. So the creation of a purchase order start with create order page. You can open the create order page in two different ways. From the task menu, you can go to select orders, manage orders, action and create. The create order page opens. Or you can go to the task menu, select orders, create orders. The create order page opens. To create the purchase order, we need to follow the below steps. Once the create order page opens here, if you can see the screenshot, we have supplier site, order type, not before date, not after date, single location order, location, import order, and department. So the supplier site fields, select or search for the desired supplier site. You need to select a supplier before creating the purchase order. Then you have to select for the order type. Order type can be three types: NB, ARB, and BRB. ARB is automated and BRB is the buyer request. Not before date, enter the date before which the order deliveries are not expected. Not after date, enter the date which the order deliveries are not accepted. You can use the calendar icon to select a date as well. Next is the check the single location order checkbox. If the items on the purchase order are distributed to only one location, then you can go to select the location field, select the location type from the drop down list, example, store and warehouse. Once if you select a store, then all the stores drop down with this drop down will be enabled, and all the store number will be displayed here. Or if you select a warehouse, all this drop down will be enabled, and all the warehouse will be you can see the warehouse numbers in this drop down, and you can select the appropriate location. Then import country, you can select the different import countries, whatever is present in the drop down. And department level, you can select and search for the department. After you have entered all the information for the order, you can go and click on OK to create the purchase order and close the page, or you can hit on the cancel if you want to reject all entries and close the page. Only approved transaction items or items below the transaction level can be added to POs. All items must be associated to the PO supplier. The number of items and delivery location can be potentially unlimited. All location must have an org unit attached to the supplier site. Items can be added to a PO through reference item, staple fashion SKU, vendor buyer pack items, item list, fashion styles, and item templates. Let's discuss about purchase order workflow now. We can see here. So first, when we create the PO, whether it is manual or automatic creation, it will be created in a worksheet status. Then next step is we need to submit the PO. Once submitted, then the next status will go to approved. Once it is approved, either it can be automatic or any of the business approves it. Once it goes to approve, the next status will be cancelled or closed. If you want to revert it back to worksheet, it can be reversed back to worksheet, and it can be reversed back to submitted also. And if you want in the worksheet status only, you can delete the PO. Purchase order status. Purchase order in RMS will reside in various statuses during the life cycle. Some status are changed by users online and others can be set automatically by the system. The statuses which relate to purchase order in RMS are as follows. Worksheet. This status allow information to be added or updated in purchase order. A PO must be in worksheet status when it is being entered into RMS. In addition, once PO is approved, it is required to change back to worksheet status if certain information in PO needs to be changed. A PO cannot be changed to worksheet status once it is fully received. Submitted. This status indicates the PO is ready for review and approval. No changes can be made PO within the submitted status. Approved. A PO has been reviewed and is considered ready for communication to the supplier. Once the PO is approved in RMS, it cannot be deleted, only cancelled. It is possible for a PO to be edited in approved status. Closed, cancelled indicates that the PO will no longer have receipt process against it. All items on the PO are either received in full or the outstanding quantity has been cancelled. A RUA or receiver unit adjustment in RMS can modify the receipt on the PO. You can reinstate a closed PO as well. Action and validation executed when submitting a PO. So there are many soft checks and hard checks. We will discuss one by one. So we have soft checks like it should be within open to buy, items are not on clearance, any store designated as end location are open, automatic checks, quantities rounded to supplier pack size, and distributed quantities are round to store order multiple. The hard stops are all items within the same department. If department level orders are required, supplier minimum maximums are met, items are active. Buyer packs marked as eaches are exploded to item left components. So during the submission of a PO, it validates if the cost of the PO is available on OTB, order quantities are rounded to supplier order multiples, allocated quantities are rounded to store order multiples, validated if minimum and maximum values are being respected, validate if items are active and not associated to clearance, validate if all items belong to the same department and orders as each is pack items are exploded to its components. Action and validations executed when approving a PO. Validates if the cost of the PO is available on OTB and decreases the OTB available amount, that is OTB table, budget and approved amount columns. Validate if minimum and maximum values are being respected, item supplier country attributes. After approval, POs can be sent to suppliers and delivery location like warehouse and stores. Receipts can be made against the PO. Ticket can be created. It's optional. Add ticket type in the item form. During the approving of PO also, we have soft checks and hard checks as below. There are certain PO dates which are very important while creating or setting up a PO. They are as follows. Return date. This is the date the PO was created in RMS. The date cannot be modified. Earliest ship date. Date represent the earliest ship date for all items and purchase order. The date is calculated based on the order lead time and transit lead time. Latest ship date. This date represents the latest ship date for all items on the purchase order. The date is calculated based on order lead time, transit lead time, and system option lead time. Not before date. This is the earliest expected delivery date for the receiving location, which could be a consolidator or the distribution center. The not before date lets a supplier know the retailer will not accept delivery on the orders before the date. This is very important for supplier to plan and schedule when they will ship order to the retailer. Not after date. This date is considered as the cancel by date for the purchase order or the latest date the merchandise should arrive at the receiving location, which could be a consolidator or distribution center. The not after date let the supplier know the retailer will not accept delivery of the order date as this date. Next few dates are like close date, OTB end of week date, pickup date, in stock date, original approval date, and cancel date. So they have the description on your screen. You can go through it. Next is PO message flow. So once the PO is created in our system, it needs to flow to the different external systems like suppliers and distribution center like warehouse and stores. So when the RMS system will create a PO to recover the stock. So you can see on the screen. So this is our RMS where first step is PO creation. Once the PO is created, in the second PO communication go to the distribution center, which is a warehouse. It will go PO communication will also go to the supplier, and PO communication will go to the store if it is meant for a store, and if it is meant for a warehouse, it will go to warehouse. The third thing is once it is the supplier will deliver the stock from PO to store or warehouse. So once it started, the supplier will start the shipment either to store or deliver to the DC. So the message will flow from the supplier to distribution center, and then if it is like cross docking, so suppose the supplier will send it to warehouse and warehouse will send it to the supplier store, so the number 5, it will go as number 5. And the store, once the store receives the information from supplier or the distribution center or the warehouse gets the supplies or the order from the supplier, it sends a receiving communication to RMS as a received message. ORMS can generate purchase orders to supplier for direct delivery to the store or warehouse. If a cross-docking or cross-linked, ORMS will generate purchase order for suppliers to deliver in the warehouse where the goods are immediately allocated to the proper store. The big difference between cross-docking and cross-linked is in the first case, the good distributed to the store are 100% purchased from the supplier, while in the second case, the purchase order is created when not enough stock is available at the warehouse to fulfill a store. So the cross-link purchase order is created to satisfy the remaining need. The other sourcing strategy would be warehouse stocked, where the items are directly transferred from the warehouse to the store. So basically, there are three types of like how the main concern of the PO is to keep the stock on hand maintained. So we can have three types of see if we have a store and suppose there is an item called Adidas shoes which has minimum quantity and maximum quantity set. So it has suppose it has stock on hand 10 and today the 5 stocks are sold. So to maintain the stock back to the 10, so first if it is like warehouse stocked, so the request will be generated from RMS to warehouse to fulfill the requirement. So it will go to the warehouse and check for the inventory, and then it will replenishment the stock from the warehouse. Suppose if we are using cross-docking or cross-link, so in the cross-docking, it will directly suppose it is set up like direct store delivery or it is like cross-docking. So it will generate a purchase order to supplier directly without checking the stock in warehouse. So directly supplier will RMS will create a PO to a supplier and supplier will fulfill that order to the directly the store. If it is like a cross-linked where first suppose we have a recommended order quantity as 10 units, so it will go and check for in the warehouse. So in warehouse, it will check if the warehouse, suppose the warehouse has only 5 quantities to fulfill. So for the 5 quantities, it will replenishment the store, and for the remaining 5 quantities, it will create a purchase order to the supplier. Next is open to buy. Open to buy is the monetary amount that buyers have available to expend in orders for a period. This budget is a result of merchandising planning that should be controlled and updated periodically to guarantee that commercial strategy is being followed finance strategic. In MFCS, OTB is maintained at the subclass week level and is defined in three buckets. Order to non-basic goods, NB, buyer replenishment of basic goods, BRB, and automatic replenishment of basic goods, ARB. Within each bucket, the monetary amounts are kept by status, budgeted amount, approved amount, and received amount. So for particular department, there is a set amount of money which is set for like budgeted, which a department can utilize in a financial year to buy some of the goods. So this is so there is a limit, like they create a budget. It is basically done by the finance system and the strategic team, finance strategic. So they set up a open to buy for any department class subclass. So they create a budget amount. Based on that only, they the orders can be created. If it crosses the budget amount, it will throw you an alert that this is over the open to buy limit, which we will see later. So it wants every time in the PO being submitted or approved, the PO value exceeds the available budget, you can choose to ignore the warning. So every time, if suppose you are the open to buy, they have a budget of $10,000, and if you are creating an order for a suppose $12,000 you are creating and you are exceeding the OTB for that department class subclass. So it will throw you a warning that OTB is exceeded in the following subclasses. And do you want to continue? Then you have to, if you want to continue, you have to press yes, or otherwise no. The cost of approved PO is used on OTB calculation at the end of week at department class subclass level. OTB can be based over cost price or retail price. Cancelling an approved PO will origin the OTB recalculation. The value that was not used can be used for other POs. Replenishment auto approved PO are set back to worksheet status if OTB is over budget. Buyer worksheet create PO in worksheet status if OTB is over budget. End of week date is defaulted but can be overridden by the buyer. Different OTB budgets by order type. So we have basically three type of order types in the PO receipt screen, which we have seen in the last uh, before few slides. So here, if you would see that there are like order of non-basic goods, buyer reorder of BRB, buyer replenishment of basic, and ARB automatic. So for every type order type, there is a like budgeted amount and approved amount and received amount buckets are there from which while creating the orders, it will be calculated. Once if any of the order is get cancelled, then again the OTB buckets are recalculated and it is uh, available for other POs. So this is the OTB budget maintenance window. Here you can see as an example, like we have department class subclass. So week ending. So total for every week ending end of week. So we have a budgeted amount. So suppose for this week, like we have the total budget purchase of 6,000, and for non-basic we have allocated 1,000. For BRB we have maintained 2,000, and for ARB we have kept it for 3,000. So you can set up it like this, and you can put a currency for every week. You can set up in your OTB maintenance screen like how much dollar you can allocate for each type of order type, and uh, every month or every week you can set it like this. PO revision. ORMS allows to revise a PO after approval, which is done by the order revision batch in nightly. Writes version of approved orders to order revision history tables when orders are approved or when approved orders are modified. This section requires synchronization between ORMS, existing WMS, and supplier. PO related forms. So there are many forms on the PO screen. So These are the PO screens like order find FMB, order head FMB, and order skew FMB, order log FMB, order calc FMB. So you can go through this information. So these are all the forms related to PO in RMS or MFCS. Purchase order data model. So these are the few tables and the descriptions majorly used for the PO. So like odd head, this table will contain one row for each order. Odd cust, odd skew will have combination of all the items which are in the order. Odd log will hold the item store or warehouse combination that is created for the order. Odd log worksheet, this table contain worksheet records for an order. Odd log expenses, this table will hold one record for each expenses associated with particular item. Out Outlog, this table used to store skeleton information about location that fall outside the RMS. Then we have allocation header, allocation detail, shipment, ship SKU, and contract header. Odd inventory management, revision orders. This table is returned to a database trigger when an approved or allocation is modified. Then odd auto temp and invoice non-merch temp. This table is used to temporarily hold invoice non-merchandise lines when an invoice is being generated. So these all are the basic tables for order. So once you create an order in MFCS, you can go through these tables to see what all information are being stored for an order. So purchase order data flow. So once the odd, you create an purchase order from the UI odd head screen. So it enters into odd head, odd skew, and odd log. So in the odd skew, once you enter the data in odd skew screen, it goes to odd skew, and from the odd log screen, when you enter the location details, it goes to odd log. Similarly, from it, odd skew will pick the data from item master and the odd head, odd log worksheet status. Odd log underscore worksheet table also will be populated from odd head. So these are the two FMBs which enters the data into this table. While creating the order, we have to select the supplier which comes from the supplier table. Purchase order data flow chart also. So these are the batches which runs during the nightly. So first is order ref. It writes versions of approved orders to order revision history table and use for EDI download order.pc, order update.pc, update retail price change on a purchase order. If any order is updated, it updates the order price. Then order purge, it deletes all the orders based on the system parameter which you have set. Suppose for usually if you have set it for 18 months, so all the completed orders after 18 months will be purged. Then DSD upload.pc process direct to store delivery items from input file validation data, then create orders, applying details, shipping and receiving. So these are the dependency. So like order ref, before running order ref, there is a pre-dependency that ripple purge should be completed, and after order ref, EDI, DLO or DBAT should run. For similarly, like for order update also, PCXT and PCCXT should run. For odd purge, there is no pre and post dependency, and for DSD upload also, there is no pre and post. Let's discuss about the purchase order batch flow chart. So here you can see once the order update.pc runs, it updates these tables and it updates the OTB table and it gets the data from price list. Here also it refers to the log header and log detail, and it once the order update happens, it triggers to the revision orders, and then order revision.pc will put the data in odd head ref, odd log rev, and odd skew rev tables. For DSD upload PC also, from the input file, it picks the data it can come as a flat file, and it can process that file and enter the data in odd hue or skew. And this is all integrated through the retail integration bus, which will send the data to the external system. Let's discuss about the important interview questionnaires. Explain PO cycle in MFCS. So you can describe about the worksheet submitted, approved, till cancel and closed, how the POs are being like created and then approved and submitted and approved, and then once how it is being received. Next question is that what is PO and different types of PO. So you have to explain what is the PO and why it is needed, and different types of POs like based on the order types, whether it is ARB, BRP or NB, or you can describe based on the whether it is a automatic or semi-automatic, or it is a manual PO. What trend codes are posted during PO creation? So here we have to explain trend code 20 is getting posted once the PO is created. When does PO get closure status? So when all the PO detail lines are fully received, so and nothing is to be getting, nothing, no pending receipts are there, so it will get closed. Can we change unit price of a received PO? So the answer is no. So unit price can be changed till the order is not fully received. Conclusion: purchase order modules allows you to create and maintain PO in variety of ways. It provides commitment to vendors for products in specified amount of specific location. Acknowledgement: we refer to the below documentation to create our content. Please go through them also. They have good information about the Oracle retail and RMS and other modules. Please go through them if you get time. These documents also have more information. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have enjoyed our content. I invite you to subscribe our channel Oracle Buddy on YouTube. You can follow us on LinkedIn as well. Below is the link. Hit hit the subscribe button and become part of our family. Your support means the world to me. Thank you again for joining this. Have a nice day. Stay tuned for the next videos. Hopefully, we will have MFCS version 23 UI session in future, where we will create purchase order, and I will show you how the purchase orders are getting created in MFCS and how we need to run the batches to process them, and how the trend codes are getting populated in trend data table in database. So we will have a detailed session for that also. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe our channel Oracle Body. Bye.